Witam Was bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku Zagrajmy w Not for Broadcast. Jak widać, ekran ładowania się zmienił, gdyż rozpoczynamy epizod drugi gry. Gra jest podzielona na 3 epizody, po tak 3, że tak powiem, wiadomości, plus ta jedna przerywnikowa, która była, że tak powiem, w niewiadomym dniu, przez co nas prąd uderzył. I coś tam jeszcze niestety jest na Discordzie, muszę z niego wyjść. Bo jak będą tak ludzie włazić co chwilę, to będzie niestety to pingowało. Dzień 153. No i dzień później się budzimy po tym koszmarze całym wiadomościami. No i słychać to bipanie tego śmiesznego urządzenia, które pokazuje, jak nasze serce bije. Otwieramy oczy, tam siedzi cała rodzina. Widzimy naszą żonę, bo Sam to jest nasza żona. Imię Sam jest żeńskie i męskie zarazem, więc nic dziwnego. Jurysiu. Tutaj przyszła nasza córka, technicznie w grze. No. A jest nasza też matka, która jest o wiele starsza, nie? Też akurat te centrum tranzycyjne powstało. Nie zamierzam jej tam wysyłać, jeżeli się jej stan zdrowia pogorszy, bo no, to jest śmierć po prostu. Centrum tranzycyjne, transition center, to jest po prostu, że tak powiem, no, eutanazja. A jest potrzebna teraz pielęgniarka. Czy zapłaci się za tę pielęgniarkę, która będzie przychodziła i że tak powiem, pilnowała ją, żeby coś się jej nie stało gorszego, nie? Bo już trochę wygląda na to, że lat ma i trzeba się nią zająć. No i kolejne wiadomości są. Jak widać, dobra, to zrobię szybki stop, więc widzimy się za chwilę. I wracamy, bo się ładowanie kończy, bo już się zawiesiło. O, jest. Dzień 232 silence.
Fuck is wrong
I'm
with
sorry,
you?
I'm sorry. I haven't had any food today.
Oh, you're fired.
O, grubo.
You're
A
fired.
MOBAs lubimy.
Facial sabotage?
Jenny?
Lubimy tego jak Resident oczywiście. Must be played.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be alright.
Nie zamierzam tego puszczać.
Pack up your weapons of optical destruction.
O, trochę jest popsuty sprzęt, jak widać. Jedno się wywaliło, nie da się wsadzić.
Stay where you are, Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy. All yours.
A ta zwalnia to od make-upu, czyli od
You can
pudru.
take his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week.
No ale co nic nie może zrobić, bo technicznie ona teraz ma trochę więcej mocy od Jeremiego.
I'm sorry, Kath. You're gonna have to leave.
No niestety została zwolniona.
Letting it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
Seconds,
That's all part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so high and mighty and do your job.
You'll have me fired too.
Don't tempt me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy.
Teraz ona zaczyna
The
wiadomości
establishment strikes
zamiast
back.
niego.
The World Council has agreed today to impose punitive sanctions on the people of this country.
The sanctions
Sankcje teraz poszły na kraj, w którym się znajdujemy. Jest no nie za dobrze.
medicines. But how should we react? We asked the public.
What do you think about all these sanctions?
I doubt it make a lot of difference, Pet.
Tak powiem, nie chcę neutralnie wpływać na rząd,
Like 40 a day.
bo uśmiechnięta buźka by wspierała advance, ale negatywna by ich wyzywała, a ta mówi, że whatever.
Prime Minister Julia Salisbury has released a reassuringly brave statement in response to the World Council's controversial announcement.
This international declaration is nothing short of outrageous. We are a
O, zakłócenia.
elected government with massive popular support. We do not recognize these sanctions. And we encourage other socially progressive nations of the world to both resist and ignore them. Advance have struck fear into the heart of the international community by showing that it is possible to have
Właściwie w sumie tak znikąd te, że tak powiem, sankcje na nich poszły, bo oni ani wojny nie wypowiadają, ani nic, więc
rely on the help of others to thrive.
jak pewien kraj.
This country is entirely self-sufficient. We are a team,
Który jest w realnym świecie.
and this team is on your side. Thank you.
Defiant stuff. But what do you
Ja tu też będę na neutralu, żeby,
stance?
powiem, adwansu nie denerwować.
Hi there, Robin Short, National Nightly News. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on the current government.
I'm not really very interested in politics, really. As Mother always said, leave politics to the politicians, Malcolm.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Remington's physics-defying MOOBS project. Since digging straight through the earth began 6 months ago, the project has been
No,
beset by
zaczęli
problems,
kopać się przez ziemię.
tremors, and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby
Dam uśmiechniętą buźkę.
converged on the construction site with sincere, if misspelled, placards demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Nie wiem, nigdy nie grałem po tą uśmiechniętą buźkę na tym, więc
This country thinks.
zobaczmy, co powie ta babka.
How do you feel about the MOOBS project?
Oh my god, I love Sophia Remington. Imagine a tunnel straight through the planet. That's the sort of big idea we need. Oh, she's a visionary.
Pipers at the gates of dawn. Commuters in the capital this morning found themselves surprised and amused by the latest stunt from popular pressure group Disrupt.
Silent
Disrupt.
protest
Będę na neutralnym też w stosunku do Disruptu.
bringing a pleasantly surreal quality to the morning commute.
Unless, like me, you have a phobia of mimes.
But how do we, as a country, really feel about Disrupt? Robin?
Do you have any feelings about Disrupt?
It's all a bit noisy for me, really. As Mother always said, leave the rebelling to the rebels, Malcolm.
Feast or famine. Resourceful
A chłop nie chce się mieszać w cokolwiek.
Today announced
No jest Force Wodens, Folgenhold. Nawet nie mógłbym tego wypowiedzieć.
currently only grow a few fungal strains. The scientists seem to be staying positive, as the following picture shows.
The undauntable scientists
Dobra, mi ich akurat można pomóc.
system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they're like strong.
No, udało mi się zrobić
But
pierwsze
with
te
advance planning to spend an
jedzenie, te grzyby wyhodować jadalne.
the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
What are your thoughts on the costs of the rescue?
Oh my god, Patrick Bannon, wash your mouth out with soap. You can't put a value on human life. You have to spend whatever it takes because one day you might be trapped in an underwater cave system and you would want exactly the same.
I don't think so, actually, because for legal reasons, we're actually not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline.
I am not a number.
Co jest?
Applications finally open today for the new advanced team membership card.
Team Membership Card. Brzmi to strasznie jak ID kardy. Ale
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary
też pójdę pod neutralne. O treści
identification.
ID cardów. Ja nie rozumiem, czemu oni takie ból dupy o to mają, bo w Polsce to jest na przykład normalne, że mamy dowód osobisty. Oczywiście nie są one popularne w innych krajach, nie? Ale w Polsce to jest normalne, że każdy z nas ma dowód osobisty.
Importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
I don't really join things as a rule. As Mother always said, membership is mostly for unmentionables, Malcolm.
Się tak zaśmiewa, no nie mogę z typa.
Prominent sports personality Johnny Hamsleeves and his fiancée Tiffany Lamour were spotted out today doing a little shopping for what many are already calling the greatest wedding ever.
The greatest
We can
wedding
only
ever.
assume that Tiffany's latest show, My Teenage Success,
Nie będę mu życia
was
psuł.
better than expected, as by the looks of things, the whole affair is about to become more expensive than Lil C's shoe collection.
I don't know who that is.
But what should your opinion be of this extravagant display of wealth?
Oh my god, fantastic!
Wow.
Wise words there.
Later tonight, in a bit of a switcheroo,
No trochę przybliżyli też kadr, widzę.
spitting rhymes with popular rapper Jay Zus. And then we'll both be chatting with a familiar team of thespians set to take the nation by storm again.
That's all coming up on tonight's
National Nightly News.
Oczywiście zakłócenia muszą być. Intro dalej to samo, co poprzednio.
First tonight, thankfully, some news as we return to our main story.
The World Council today.
A Peter Clement będzie Iwan Podowicz i Bjerk, znaki zapytania.
The sanctions, which come into effect immediately, aim to stop the flow of food, fuel, and even some medicines from.
No, pojawili się.
Tonight we have guests from across the
No
continent.
tutaj widzę kamera im coś podczas...
Peter Clement is at his home in Lancashire. Are you there, Peter?
Yes, I can hear you, Jeremy. Thank you for having me.
A momentous day, Prime Minister. Are you shaken?
Oh, I don't scare that easy, I'm afraid, old son. And neither do the people of this country.
Well, join.
W zależności od popularności Advance'u to są różne dwa segmenty. W tym przypadku on jest dobrze nastawiony. Ja bym bardziej pruł, że ich nie lubimy i bardziej disrupt. To bym tutaj wyzywał i różne rzeczy robił, naprawdę.
Okay.
Minister, as one of those arguing most strongly for these sanctions, how do you feel about Advance's defiant stance?
Vance is like man who think he have big career in movies land, when actually he in dirty sanitarium, screaming at mirror and holding tiny penis in hand.
Tiny penis.
We have like some of the cleanest mental health care facilities in the continent, yeah?
And welcome to Svenland's Minister of Mojo, Bjerk. I'm sorry, we don't appear to have your surname.
It's just Bjerk, yeah. We don't use things like socially divisive surnames here, yeah.
Minister?
It's just Bjerk, yeah.
Right, Björk. Your country spoke in favour of Advance at the World Council today, but you were noticeably absent when it came to the actual vote.
Well, what a surprise. The hippies didn't show up for the fun.
That's quite racist, because if you must know, we were going to go to the whole like vote thing, yeah? But it's actually the
Co, nie pojawił się na głosowaniu, bo po co?
the old generations. So like we all had to work our grandparents' gleania whilst the vote was happening, and that's like a really time-consuming process, actually.
You're like sissy man. You have this expression, sissy man, is like man with tiny penis who like to wash more than once a week.
Actually, that's quite homophobic, yeah,
Oh,
because...
stop winding him up, Ivan. We're not back at the Grange now. Sorry, Jeremy. Ivan and I used to play golf back in my media days.
Yeah, he always wins.
Nothing gives him greater pleasure than grinding people's gears. The more publicly, the better.
Peter, you're like man with tiny penis who think he have tiny penis, but actually he discovered that. Oh, could it be? No, it's tiny penis.
Ivan's just worried that when the rest of the world sees how well we're doing, they'll notice all that dosh that he's got squirreled away. Because that's what these sanctions are, Megan. They're the last pathetic gasp of an establishment in collapse. Wolves at the gates, Ivan, old mate.
Good, he can join others on my wall.
No.
In Svenland, we have like
Czy-
serious animal welfare legislation.
Jak się ten jego kraj nazywał? Zapomniałem. To jest Svenland, to Szwecja jest porównanie, nie? A to... Orkistan czy jakoś tak, to wiadomo do którego kraju to jest porównanie, którego nazwę teraz nie można wymawiać.
What became of her?
We seem to be wandering a little from the news here.
It's human interest, Jeremy, the real people behind the headlines and all that. So if you're watching, Jan, give us a call. Yeah. Let's see if we can't organise a reunion.
Crash, I'm not sure about that. I'll have to run it past Mrs. Clement first, eh?
Peter, you're like man trying to empty ashes of mistresses into oncoming vent. Soon you have
Bardziej pogadankę mają teraz.
beard full of secrets.
In Svenland, we don't really go in for all that restricted monogamy stuff here. We're kind of fluid, actually.
Okay, well, it seems that we are running out of time.
Yes, so before we go
Oi.
to break, briefly, if you would, gentlemen, with the people of this country facing shortages and power
Possible shortages and power outages.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Possible shortages and power
Cię
outages.
zarąbał w akcji.
Summarize your thoughts for us, Minister Bjerk.
Well, from here, yeah, you all look a bit stupid really arguing about outdated divisive concepts like money. Instead, we replaced currency with a system of bodily fluids back in the 1970s, and that's like really hard to sanction, actually.
Thank you, Minister Votovich.
Your country is like man who think he invented perfect trap for giant Newton hairy bear. When really he just standing in field
Holding his tiny penis. Yes, thank you, Minister. Prime Minister.
Go zgasił.
Talk to your viewers here, Jeremy. Don't worry, everybody. Don't be afraid.
Jak peta go zgasił dosłownie.
Lose a wink of sleep.
No, fajne jeszcze to przybliżenie kamery na niego bardziej.
And we're ready. As my old man used to
Jakąś
say,
książkę niby wydał. Fajne propy porobili.
without blocking a few toilets.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Reassuring words there.
We'll be back.
After these messages.
1 minute back.
Hey, Peter, I over your way this weekend. You fancy a quick 9?
Yeah, sure, front or back.
That's what I hope you're asking Megan Wolf for.
Multibilioner, a 2 jej pieniędzy nie zabrał.
May.
Thank you for the correction.
Well, you have to be more careful.
It's all part of his long-term plan to get fired live on the news at 6 in front of the nation.
Can someone warn him it's going a little too well?
O ja plus, jak ładnie się udało. Głośmy reklamę. Nie, ja nie zamierzam tego cenzurować, bo to jest łamanie wolności słowa.
Bow. Foreign royalty.
What? Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report? Megan?
This is Jeremy. Now you're here. My mobile
Ten go tam przyciągnął.
It's quite all right.
and construction has already begun. 5 in 10 seconds. I'm Sophia Remington.
Tam coś testuje.
Can't be done. I make it happen. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth.
Ojciec prawdy.
How that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus!
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honor to be here on this show, the news. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now.
Dzieciak z ulicy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand.
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died, died tragically.
Zmarła tragicznie.
Right there in my arms.
Ręka.
I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months old.
What a tale. What a tale.
Pecha miał kolega, niestety.
Honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just it's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem.
A wyrzucił karteczki.
Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from
Każdy ma prawo do wolności słowa i nie będę tego blokował.
Redistributing it.
Bez przesady z tym cenzurowaniem niewygodnych rzeczy dla rządu.
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah, nah, of course, man, very much so. I just mean, like, why do I have to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know.
Każdy pracujący.
For my music, choose to value it.
To akurat jest racja, ludzie powinni być wynagrodzeni za rodzaj pracy, nie? I jak ciężka była, no. Jest przez, że ktoś zapieprza jako lekarz i dostaje wypłatek rzędu 2000 powiedzmy złotych, no, bez przesady. To coś ci w szpitalach, co tam zapierdziel ostry.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh no, I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First, you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay back.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still too deep.
Chcę, żeby ludzie dostali epilepsji.
Now we're getting sanctioned. Talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion? So fuck all your schemes. I don't need your freaky team, and I don't need your help to achieve my fucking dreams. So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Get every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive. But why would I get out of bed with
drugą rękę wziąć.
Although it's contravention of your obvious intention. I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same.
Nie tak jest zły ten przyznam, kawałek.
So this is for the snub ones, the push and the shove ones, the folks that feel the burden of their motherfucking loved ones. Ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley. The ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty. The ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation. The ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise, of the press of the ways. Cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take this fact, gonna stay in it red. Gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stall a puzzle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets. Set a fire in the building, let him feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're squilling betters, and burn them on the powers of advances fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head. Cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stall the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Chase that dream, you don't need a fucking team. And advances little chances aren't as harmless as it seems. Cause they're stale and corrupt, then you're angry or wrong. Then your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
No cóż.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
No, trochę jakość chyba im spadła. Przykręcają też chwilowo.
I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent of any outside interference. You have my word. We will never censor ideas. Back to you, Megan.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson.
Mieni się Kryznila podszukał, ta Sports Wars pójdzie.
To a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
That's the ad.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR.
No, this is ridiculous.
Last ad break.
It's just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave it.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Starasz się zachować neutralnie. O, to jest ten. Ta gra. Co tam w epizody temu była. O, to jest ta, co gra przeciwko Johnemu, czy jak mu tam.
No, here we go. Look at him.
O, idzie Jeff.
Oh, say no more.
Jeff Algebra.
Jeremy, you remember Mr. Algebra?
Vividly.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Raden.
What?
Philippa, please.
You're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right.
Jak Chińczyk wygląda, halo.
Live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1. 5,
O Jezu, i on.
4, 3.
Tam gumę dał, widziałem.
And no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by national treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Raden, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy.
National Devas.
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs are kimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to the training.
Akurat z Advance'u Petera Clementa lubię. Julia Solvi też lubię, ale no. Znam grę i wiem, co się potem stanie po prostu. Fakt, to, że są fenomenalnie dobrani do tej gry i zajebiście grali, przyznam swoje role.
How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Ten dalej go, że tak powiem, ciśnie.
The success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
I do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris. Jesus, that was hard.
Jesus, hard.
We actually have some clips of the process of the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son. You were an embarrassment.
But Dad,
Tam się zaśmiał.
promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells! Demon! Back to the hells!
Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan. And for once, this show really gives me something to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from
Czapka.
typecasting, forced to play the
Czerwona gwiazda.
characters in every
Widziałem to.
yogurt advert or godforsaken
Hełmie.
God forbid a pantomime. But you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show. What is it?
Ta jego dalej ciśnie.
I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from.
Marchewa.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable.
Gaciak, co za chłop.
Can you give us a sneak peek of anything else that might be in the show?
Yeah, all sorts, yeah.
Yeah, we've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred path!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer.
Wszystko zapłacone z podatków. Typowe.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which frankly would have been a travesty.
God, Jesus Christ!
Potężne CGI.
It's a metaphor.
For what?
It's a metaphor.
For what?
Metafora dość.
Footing the bill, are they?
Too bloody right they are. Between the cost of my tour bus and the dry cleaner and my
Metafora śmierci.
a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
Zobaczyłbym, jak
And people can see it for absolutely
będzie live z Jeffem. Bo oni teraz twórcy robią live z... Robią z każdymi aktorami po kolei, że tak powiem, wywiady na streamach.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse.
Jedynka.
And I'm Megan Wolf. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Jeszcze lewą rękę mu podał. Guma. Na reklamę, dobra, nie będę marnował czasu już na to. Little you can afford. No nie tak źle. No i Pleasure Cop w górę, Remington Swiss w górę, Crazy Neil w górę. Advance w dół poszedł, bo nie zacenzurowałem. Oczywiście Distrap w górę, Channel One kocha mnie, nie wiem jak to powiedzieć, szef mnie lubi po prostu. No i to było na tyle w tym odcinku. No cóż, widzimy się w kolejnych odcinkach z Not For Broadcast, Arbet 3 albo nie wiem, jakiejś innej serii, która może niedługo zacznę, więc do zobaczenia w przyszłych odcinkach. Cześć!